That countdown doesn't mean anything.
It does. We're on live again. We're live. We're sorry for the little.
How about some horn for that?
Hey, give some horns.
Get some horns.
Can never go wrong with the horns, baby.
Pick up.
Now Abdul doesn't believe it, so
Yeah, just give it.
still just the.
No, we're live. Nope, that's the last one. That's the whole one.
What's this one? We're on, man. That's
we on?
It's gonna kick right back on, man. We're on.
We on to the break of dawn.
No.
How butter the popcorn?
We're on.
Is this us? That's us? Oh, that's the last one, right? Because it has you put Father Forever as the.
Yeah.
It
says we back. That's how you know it says we back.
No, I put that.
No.
We are back.
Guess who's
coming
Bizet?
Oh no, on the we're on. We're live. Kick right back
We're
on.
live?
Man. We're
Yes.
on.
Doesn't say live.
We on to the body.
Is this
Look.
Father Forever as the. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. So, John, you were going to ask a question. Actually, just to give us a recap.
Yes,
so
yes.
Lead
Let's
us
recap.
back into the question because they might have lost.
I'm gonna
that
use
last
it anyway
one.
because it's on here. I'm gonna put it in the clips.
I got you.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, so the poems, are talking about loved ones and so forth, these elegies, right? And so the last one we're talking about is a poem I wrote to the former CEO of Incest Therapeutics, who was the first dude to go to prison for these opioid epidemic. So I'm writing this poem to him. It's literally a Dear John letter. I'm like, Dear John, talking about my nephew's life and really infusing scripture. Like I said, Isaiah has a scripture about dragons and unicorns and satyrs, right? Half man, half beast. And so unicorns are known for their horns have the healing powers, right? And so how my nephew was duped into believing that opioids, right? You know what I'm saying, was going to be his healing power and so forth, after having time in the VA and so on and so forth and really battling and so forth. And one night just gave up. And here's the kicker. I saw him the night before he died. I'm in the parking lot of a local bar. It's like midnight and so forth. So I'm leaving. I'm in the car, right? He's pulling through in a white Lexus. I got it in the palm and so forth. He's coming through in a white Lexus, So I'm leaving, I'm doing stuff I ain't supposed to be doing. He's doing stuff he ain't supposed to be doing, right? And so we catch eye contact as he drives by. I'm parked, he's driving by in the parking lot, and we just, and I could see in his eyes what he was up to. And I think he might have kept going because he saw me, I'm not sure.
Right.
And then the next morning, boom, he's out, he's gone,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So, that's a poem in there as well. And so these elegies, man, are really, really talking about the process of the loved ones that I've had spent time with.
John, you got it.
Yeah, and so when you're doing these writings, there's therapeutic value and there's healing, right? And so when you're going through the grieving process, at what point do you know you're ready to sit down and put this into writing, into work, so that it has that peaceful, more of a remembrance of that positive and feels good to you?
And add on to that question, like, how do you know when it's you grieving, right? So at one point you start writing. I'm sure, like later on, you felt something else, but you already wrote it.
Yeah.
How does that work too?
So, so the first part is whenever my spirit tells me it's ready, like the poem of my dad. I mean, that poem is, 45, 48 years in the making, you know what I mean? Probably 50 years in the making, and so it was a matter of, listen, I just, I got to get this out, The poems about my mom, I mean, they came like relatively quickly, and so relatively quickly, because it was there, and I knew that it would help me with the grieving process with her, like automatically, you know what I mean? Because I mean, literally, like she's gone. I mean, one moment she's there in the bed, surrounded by loved ones, and the next thing you know, man, the coroner's coming and she's carrying me out in a body bag, and so whatever the spirit says is ready, I'll take from the mind, starts in the spirit, and it moves to the mind, and then from the mind, I'll start channeling, right? When I tune in and listen, when I do listen, right? And I'll spew it out. And so my process is it's similar to a sculptor, a piece of wood. So the poem, in its first draft, when I spew it out, it's just a block of wood, and from there, the revision process, right? I just start chiseling, here, until the poem tells me what type of sculpture it wants to be, right? And when it's complete, it tells me it's complete. Like, okay, it wants to be a table, you know what I mean? Or it wants to be a birdhouse. And then to add into your question, is that there's the revision process. So in the revision process, you know, once it's out and it's on the page, and the subject matter and the grievance, the relativity of the grievance is on the page, it becomes a piece of work, right? And so it's like going to work. It's like what you're doing right now and so forth. And so now I'm chiseling and I'm looking for the right words or the right verb to convey the image I want to convey in that particular line. And I can't move on until I actually get that image, you know? Because if I don't see it, how can I convey for you as a reader to actually see it?
Right.
And it can take a while, you know, relatively a while. So
Interesting process. As a poet, you do the same, or no? The poets do all poets do that?
If he's a poet, I'm something else.
That's an interesting process,
we're in the
though.
same category.
listen, I'm not a poet. I just write a lot.
Yeah.
That's a great process, though. Like,
No, but I think to the point he made, I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I used to write poems all the time, a lot of times I would be like a one-take Jake. I would have something like the way my mind works, it would be like floating up in the air, and then all of a sudden I could just sit down and write the whole poem out, and very seldom did I have to change it. So if you've heard a poem that I've done,
I got one though.
yeah,
You written a poem about your dad though.
yeah,
You didn't have to go
one
back.
take Jake.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's so this like you just heard two different ways of doing creativity,
Yeah.
right? But I felt like there was a point where my cup was empty. So like it was like for all these years I was doing poetry, I could just do it. And then when the cup ran out, it was like I want to write a poem, and I'd be sitting there and a piece of paper wouldn't do anything. And so it was just like at a certain point, like I write like little monologues every time I do my workshops and stuff. But it's nothing like when I used to think I was like really doing poetry all the time. I think it was very different in the way I did it, you know?
Where's the line of I'm doing poetry for me versus I'm doing poetry for others?
Ooh, it depends on the content, really. You know, where I started writing, doing poetry for others, like really talking about social, political content, and so on and so forth. You know, in the poem Washington D.C., 2 blocks from the White House, and you know, people starving to death and stuff like that. So I was really inspired to be like this social political poet. You know what I mean? Like the Che Guevara of the pen and so forth. And I really can't recall the time or the space where it was just like, maybe what you're talking about, like, all right, I'm enough about talking about all these political issues with like no solutions and so on and so forth. I'm just venting my frustration with society. And I was just like, well, I'm gonna start talking about me. And I did that in my first book, Black Rose City, about growing up in Norwich, Connecticut, where it's called Rose City. The official rose of New England is Norwich, Connecticut. It's also the home of Benedict Arnold, the Revolutionary War traitor.
Yeah.
And so in that poem, I'm talking about family and experiences, playing kick the can as a kid. The day that, you know, like Biggie says, kicking the door, waving the 4-4 when the cops raided my house when my daughter was 5 years old, you know? And she's watching Looney Tunes and so forth, you know, and just poems about growing up in this town where you don't really hear much about the black population and the social political conditions, you know, that we're experiencing. So that's when I really started to get with the personal.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was going to tell my story, you know, from top to bottom, right? From the soil all the way up to the sun. I'm gonna tell my own story because that way you can't say anything about me. Well, I know you used to do this, so now I'm a professor, right? Oh yeah, you a professor now, but yeah, you used to be hustling. Oh yeah, you didn't tell them about that. Yeah. Well, I did. If you read Black Rose City, you see that I actually did. Right. Yeah, I was a hustler. Right. Okay, so you can't hold that on me. So that's what really turned the tide for me. You know.
What I would say is like initially, I feel like my poetry was like an extension of like my people, the agency. So like I always write about I love black people. I love helping the people succeed. And so I feel like the poetry was an extension. I feel like the Fatherhood monologues, when I switched over to doing those poems, because mine are all poems. I mean, it's like it's a story wrapped in a poem. The way that's how I see mine. And so I think that then it was like more connected to, you know, someone I love very much, or even aspirational for me. So like a lot of like right now, I write a lot of poems to my kids.
Yeah.
Talking to them about how like they grew up so fast, and you know, like you know, whenever you think about fatherhood, I always think about when they're little. Mm-hmm. But like I'm in the midst of having two young adults and a young woman, and so it's just like when I see it as like having all these memories, and I just want to share them with them, and so I just write, and I don't even they haven't seen none of them. So like I'm not gonna write a book, but it's like one day I am gonna share them with them because I think that it would be cool to kind of like have somebody hear your thoughts,
Now, just real quick on that, because I'm doing that now with my granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
I got grandchildren, not a grandson, but back in 2017 when she was born, I started what's called the Sage Chronicles. Her name is Emery Sage Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
So I started writing to her and talking to her.
Yeah.
And so now I'm on volume 9, because she's about to be 9 in September.
Nice.
And Cairo's too. So now it's called Sage and Cairo Chronicles, where I'm talking to them about life and everything. My ups and downs, my brights, my dark sides, and so forth. Like a blueprint to them. Like it might not ever be published.
Right.
But it's like memoirish, really. But it's for them.
Just for them.
Yeah.
And it's really because I feel like sometimes as a father, you might come in my room and I might be on that day I might be stoic. Another day you might come in the room and I'm joking around about stuff. But it's never like really who I am or really how I feel. It's just the moment, Yeah. And the poetry is like, I'm able to sit there and cry, shed a couple tears and say like, man, just the other day, you were holding my hand. I love, my son just went back to school. I look at my son and I'm like, this dude is all big and stuff. And I have this picture in my office where I can see them in a perfect age, except for my oldest daughter.
Did you watch the doc again?
I haven't watched it.
When you watch it, you're gonna at the end of the doc when it's going off.
Yeah.
You're on the stage doing a poem, and Adi's breakdancing. He's like 6.
Yes.
And he's like right. He's just in there breakdancing. I'm like, yo, he's huge now. But you look at that. You look at the footage. He's little.
So gentle and small.
Yeah.
And so it's for me. I'm like caught in the whole idea of fatherhood. I keep just I can talk about fatherhood all day. In between either whether it's about my father, like I have conversations with him too, where it's like like I imagine what it would be like right now. There's so many times where I have like something I need, somebody I need to talk to, and it's funny because I don't want to say in my position, but a lot of times nobody wants to hear me complain or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Remember when I was trying to do it? Everybody should hear me out? No, I was trying to complain to Zoe for about a year. I had kidney failure. I was like in here like, guys, I'm going down, guys. And Zoe be over there like, you better get back up, bro. You better get back up. And I'm like, and so we create these spaces. You got the podcast, we got the Brotherhood check-in, we got all these different spaces for men. But it's like it's really a space where I still have to facilitate. As opposed to being able to just be one of the guys.
And we look forward to that facilitation from you. You know what I mean? Like when I get the emails from you or the text, whatever.
Someone has to lead it.
Yeah, but I want to cry. I want to.
You do cry. Don't worry about it. You get yours in. You get yours in, buddy.
You go to your space and you do these emotional poems, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, someday I'm going to share them with my kids.
Yeah.
It's somewhat brave because you can't really be attached to the outcome. You could pass that poem to your kid, and your kid might be like, "Yeah, okay."
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. No, that's my heart. That's my heart and soul right here, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think poetry is a great outlet. I think it takes, bravery and takes some risk. But then the other risk is being present and in the moment and saying, "Hey, man, this is where I'm at right now." And I'm not saying shed a tear with your kid or however you go through your emotional process, but get it out right then, right there,
right in the moment. I like that. I like that idea. It's just in the moment, I'm a different type of guy.
Do you want to see them? Do you want to see people read your stuff, or do you want them to go away and read that?
And you know what's interesting? I'm reading this book right now called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and so forth, you know, and the importance and the significance of being present in the now and so forth, you know. And I'm just like, when am I going to give these journals to my granddaughter? Like, it's going to be 16 or something. But it's rated R. You know what I mean? Really, it's not censored, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's real deal Holyfield talking about family addiction and so forth and my decision making and this and that. So it's like, you know, when do I think she's going to be ready? As opposed to what moments of now can I have? You know what I mean? Where
That's a good point.
Point a little seed.
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yes.
The book?
So Sinking in Moonlight Alone is the book that is coming out in spring 26. So the project I'm working on right now, that I'm on sabbatical for, it's a collection of poetry I'm working on titled Namesake. Where I'm having this conversation with Frederick Douglass, so we share the same name. And so the poems intercede where experiences of my life and or his life that no one else has.
Yeah.
In my eyes, right? So I'll give you two examples. One is that my great grandfather, named after the first Frederick Douglass, comes from the Bahamas, and he's in Key West, Florida. And I do research on him, and I'm looking for him. I go down there. I'm trying to find his gravesite, this and that. I can't find anything on him except this one address. And I go to the address, and across the street is the Frederick Douglass school. And then when I got there, it was a community center, and I think it's a gym now. And so I'm just like, wow. And so I'm just like, wow. Did my great grandfather changed his name to Frederick Douglass, like the Douglass changed his name to Frederick Douglass, so there's a conversation. So it's on the corner of Olivia and Emma Street. So the poem is titled Olivia and Emma, on the corner. And so I'm just writing this poem of these two talking about their lives and how they potentially, the reason why they changed their names, and acquired a new identity, which now includes me as a third proponent of that identity. So,
I like it.
That's one example. I just got done, my latest one is a poem about Haiti. So I did some research at the University of Rochester in their archives. And Douglass was the minister to Haiti, which was ambassador. And so he writes this article where he's talking about the power of Haiti. And one of the things he says is that, I'm a paraphrase, but we as Black Americans have a stronger cultural ancestral identity with Haiti than anyone else. And I'm reading this novel called Sky Full of Elephants, where Haiti is a cornerstone. And in the novel, it says that Haiti is the closest that a Black American can get to Africa without going.
Wow.
And the other piece is that I spent a day in Haiti. And so I meld all these three together of this, this cultural experience of Haiti. And so how its relevance, being the first revolutionary, country to win their independence and so forth. And they're still being punished for it today, to this day, right? Yeah. It's like, if you want to be free, you can be free, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody's going to be free and get this money. No, we're going to make sure that we make an example out of you.
Right.
So, this poem, it's called Flowers, because when Douglass died, the president of Haiti sent flowers to his home and so forth. So I meld those three together into this poem called Flowers.
Love it.
So taking this walk and this journey I'm learning a lot of great things.
Does it sound so? how long are you on sabbatical for?
Oh man, it's just started. I'm until September.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. I'm breathing, baby. I'm breathing. The semester starts, I think, tomorrow or the day. I think sometime this week. Either tomorrow.
The 30th is when Zoe goes back.
Next day. Yeah. We normally start right after MLK Day, so we're somewhere this week, but not me.
Not you.
Nah, man, nah.
September, man.
September, I'm in the wind, baby.
Hey, that's good living. All right, so we're gonna make a sharp turn, but I want to say when the two books come out, I already bought one. But
off camera, of course, he did though. He did.
Yeah.
You sure did.
Definitely
Pre-order.
support Frederick Douglass Knowles. It sounds like some very interesting reading. I'm really excited about the elegies. I'm gonna use that word 3 times this week just so I can keep it in my vocabulary. And I think that one of the things I want to kind of transition to. So our topic tonight is fatherhood is forever. Fatherhood forever. Mm-hmm. And right out the rip, I'd be interested in just hearing your thoughts, John, Zoe, Frederick, your thoughts on just that topic. What when I say fatherhood is forever, what does that bring up in your mind? John, I'm gonna start off with you.
I think just that, the literal fatherhood is forever.
Mm-hmm.
It never ends. It's the job where you don't get a vacation.
Yeah.
You don't take time off. You don't want to take time off. I don't want to take a vacation.
Right.
And I do believe that it's forever. And I believe that, you set up certain characters within your kids that, when they're 50, when they're 60, they're going to do something and they're going to be like, well, that's what my dad did.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might say, well, what would daddy do?
Right.
Right. And I think that, to me, is when you know you got it.
You hit it. Mm-hmm. So what about you?
I never thought that I would look. What's the word I'm looking for? Like I never thought like when you're young, you look forward to like certain things like getting married or whatever that is.
Yeah.
I never looked forward to being a father,
mm-hmm.
but now I'm a father. I didn't think I like being a father.
Yeah.
Right. So it's something I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers forever is something I kind of like the statement. I don't want it to end.
Right.
So I'm glad it's kind of forever.
Yes.
And most good fathers have that mentality regardless of them hearing that word you just said.
Right.
So when I think of fatherhood forever, I think ideally it should be forever. And I enjoy it. And the way you raise him, you're gonna you may be pleasantly surprised as you get older. Because your kid's gonna surprise you in a lot of ways. He's gonna have a lot of things in you that you see in yourself or things you don't have that he has. And I think it's exciting as well because you don't know, all the stuff that you pour into your children, what they take out of it and then what they become.
Right.
So I just love the whole part of that, yeah.
Okay. Frederick, what about you?
I'm gonna put a spin on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to when I first found out that I was going to be a father at 16 years old.
Yeah.
And fathers forever.
Yeah,
Wow. Like when woke up and so forth the next day. And when my first, I have 2 daughters, and so my first daughter Lanisha was born August 10th. 1990. I'm sorry, August 12th, 1990, and I'll tell you why.
Hey, that's the day me and my wife met, August 12th. This one says
okay.
All right.
2000.
Providence. Leo in the building.
Yeah.
So August 12th, but August 10th, 2 days before, I got into a nearly fatal car accident coming from a keg party. And so I'm in one hospital, and she's born in another.
Wait.
What?
Keg party?
Yeah.
You said you were 16. But go ahead, keep going. Let's go.
Keg party, 1990.
Give
Drink. Wow.
You know what you're talking about.
Keg stands?
You're still going to keg
I
party.
went to Farmington High. I understand. I went to Farmington High. I understand. That's crazy.
And we had good keg, like Budweiser, not that Bush.
The chorus party ball.
Legit,
I don't drink. I've never been there.
Good time.
Yeah.
No, but so I'm in one hospital,
Yeah.
being born, and she's in the other one. You know what I
That's-
mean? And so, but learning over the years, and then I'm a senior in high school, and I'm a father, and of course I don't want to be a father. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, Harry got a baby. Oh, you're different, but then learning the growing pains and so forth, and knowing that this is me. Like, this is forever. You know,
Yeah.
She gonna need diapers and milk. I used to ride my bike with diapers and milk to her mother's house and so forth.
Yeah.
I ain't have no car. I'm 17 years old, a kid.
Yeah.
And now, her being 35 and giving me 2 grandchildren and so forth, and still, I'm still a father.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
That's
So,
right.
forever.
So
Forever.
this concept came up for me because I think that, obviously I do a lot of work with fathers, a lot of work with men. And for a good part of the time I've been doing this work, a lot of people will think about fatherhood as ending, their responsibility of fatherhood ending when their children turn 18. 18 was like a magical number. And so what I started thinking about over the last few years is that, if you are really so I think about my dad. I'm 52. And like I said, there are times where I want to talk to him and I want to be able to get some advice from him. and I'm not, I'm not able to do it in the physical, but I can still talk about it. I can still put it out there, right? I can talk to his picture, and so it's like he still maintains a role in my life even though he's not here. And so the more I thought about that, like, you know, my dad passed away 9 years ago, and so it's really one of those things where it's like, if you are a good father, if you're a father that you are involved in your children's lives, you gave them good counsel, you did certain things, it doesn't stop. It doesn't. It's not. I mean, even if they're not physically here, you still are seeking that fatherhood. And so to me, it was really one of those things where I realized that if I do my job at the level that that my father did his job, and this is the other thing I want to add in. My dad wasn't perfect. I'm not saying he was like perfect, but he did his job in such a way that very often, many times in a week, I'm looking for something from him, even though he's no longer here. And so then I think about, you know, am I doing a good enough job where my children will think the same about me? And so what is the opposite of fatherhood is forever? If father is forever, like we're grown men, for the rest of my life, I think I'll still desire my dad. But then if you don't have that, what is that feeling? What does that look like for fathers, for men?
I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if this will answer your question or not.
Yeah.
But what I'm learning now about fatherhood being forever is that the definition has evolved.
Yeah.
So there's like me and my daughter went through something recently and so forth where I was overstepping my boundaries from her perspective and so forth. For me, I'm being a father. I'm your father, and this is you know, and you know you're overstepping your boundaries, and we really had to go through it for quite some time, and for me to actually get like, well, maybe I am overstepping my boundary a little bit, but I feel like as a father, well, I can overstep those because, you know, you acting up a little bit, you know? So the definition evolving and so forth, father is forever, but my my initial roles and responsibilities may not be forever. They may now have addendums to them and so on and so forth, you know?
Yes.
So I don't know if that answers your question or not. Or,
no, but it's a point, and I'm gonna put a mark on it. I'm gonna come back to that.
It's like there's life transitions with boundaries and limits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't tell your kids what to do anymore when they're 35 years old. You can give advice. There's boundaries. There's limits. You got to respect that. And I'm sure we all do our best to do that. But fatherhood is forever. You know, if you're looking at it from an end point when someone passes away, you know, I remember when I was younger, right? I used to have hair.
Yeah.
I was athletic. I played football. You know, I was doing whatever I was doing, right? I didn't have kids back then. Right? It was just me living free, doing what I was doing, right? But now that I got kids, I've known them, right, for 14 years.
Right.
I feel like when I talk to them and I'm with them, I've known them forever. I knew them way back from, I feel like I've known them for like 60, 70 years.
Wow.
And it's only been, think about that, that's a short period of time.
Yes.
14 years. So, you know, maybe there's a different perspective where, you want to establish a legacy. You want to make sure that your kids are walking in your footsteps. You want to be able to look in the mirror. Hey, I look at myself right now with this iPad. I look just like my dad.
You do.
Right? So it's right there.
That's
me.
You do.
I'm my dad right there, right? But then there's this other piece where it's like, wow, can you really remember life without your kids? I know sometimes we're stressed out, and sometimes we're like, man, can I just go to a keg party?
Yeah.
No, you're not going to do that, right?
Right, not now, yeah.
No.
Well, so
I don't think they even sell cakes anymore, do they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
So did you want to add anything?
I think when you were speaking about fathers forever, I think it's like it could be two types. Like from your instance, you grew up with your dad; he was there. You kind of saw someone to look after, to model yourself afterwards.
Yes.
Then you have kids like that don't have a dad, and they want that. They see it in other kids.
Right.
So when they have kids, they're father forever. Like for real, because they wanted that.
Yeah.
So it's like you can come from two different ways. Like my dad was in and out, right? But I just, you know, whatever the situation was with him and my mom, I always wanted my dad to be how I am with my son.
Right.
So when I had a son, I was like, I don't care what happens. That's my son. I was like, hey, you could leave. Right. So that's how I was always like, I'll take him. So it made mine more intense, like my relationship with my
The
son.
desire for him.
Yeah, because I want him to have like all the stuff that when I was young I wanted. I wanted to go places, wanted to do things like.
Right.
And even now, when I say things, he don't even want them.
Right.
I used to wonder, you don't want to, let's go shopping. Let's go to the mall. I said, I'm straight. You don't want to buy no sneakers? Like, they don't want.
No,
but,
they don't. It's weird.
Right, it's weird. It's weird.
My son's like
and
that.
that's how I get my father's like, man, I can't wait. When I have my son, I can't wait to do all those things that my dad wasn't.
He
here
missed
for.
out on.
Right? Just so he can have that. So that makes me, and then in turn, my son's going to see that. And just by me doing that, he's going to do the same thing I did to his kids because because I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed that in my life. And you do it because you love that portion of your life, so you want to you want to do it again,
Right.
So,
Keep it going.
and another thing, when he was talking about how as well, like when they get older, you have to change. Same thing you're talking about is the levels, right?
There's that-
The levels of
that's-
fatherhood.
well, that's what I was
I know
gonna
you about to
point
go
out.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the levels. You can't be a teenage dad when he's 40. You can't act like he's a teenager.
Hey.
All right, go ahead.
Hey.
Go do it. I knew you was coming with it. It's coming. That's why he was like, I'll wait for it.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
interject and now properly answer the question because I feel like me and you are opposite poles because you were talking about your father now that he's gone and so forth and having a relationship,
Right.
what that looks like now. For me, it was my entire life.
Yes.
Because he was gone at 6 months.
Right.
You know? And so being that kid and being like, oh my gosh, like, where's my? I remember the first time I learned the word deceased, looking at his statements and so forth, and deceased, and I'm just like, mom, mother's name, father, deceased. And I'm just like, so I'm a little kid, like, where's my dad? Where's my dad? You
Right.
know? I got 8 siblings before me, so they all kind of had a little experience with him. So mine has always been what you're experiencing now. You
Right.
know what I mean? That spiritual plane and plateau and so forth. And sometimes I'm just like, I know it's part of who I am. It's my ancestry and my spirituality. But some days I'm like, damn, Dad, I just want to hug you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once. You know?
I wish it could. But even I'm saying I wish it could have hugged him more.
Yeah.
But also taking to your point, my dad, I probably hugged my dad once or twice in my whole life. I actually, one of my monologues is 50 hugs, and it talks about how in my lifetime when my dad was healthy and strong, he might have given me one hug, but the day before he died, he gave me 50 hugs on that. So he's in the hospital.
Yep.
He's sitting on the edge of the bed, and he keeps asking me to help him up.
Yeah.
And so if you think about somebody getting helped up, 2 men, I'm holding him, and he's weak, and so he did that probably 50 times in that night.
Wow.
And so it's like all the hugs in one night, and then you think about that, the power of that for me when I really thought about it, like initially, because like one of the things that happened was, like you said, we were doing these shifts. We're staying at the hospital all night, and my brother was like, all right, go ahead, you could go home. I go home, and he passes away that night. And so when I come back, I'm very emotional, because of the fact that you want to be there. You want to be,
course, yeah.
You think you want to be there, I think.
Yeah.
And so, but weeks after, I thought about the night when you kept, hey, move me over here. Hey, and he was, all this touchiness that, our lives, he wasn't necessarily a touchy-feely type of father. And so it was very powerful for me. But I want to switch the gears back to what Zoe was saying about, when you think about your fatherhood, what was your favorite stage of fatherhood? And I want to break it down. So those started talking about the levels of fatherhood. So I think there are some fathers out there who they were really good when their children were babies. They thought about, I'm a father, I know how to change diapers, I can feed the bottle, I can pick them up when they cry, but they never transitioned to the toddler father. They still wanted to do baby stuff with a toddler. And a toddler, they want to feed themselves, they want to run around, they want to do stuff. So if you think about the different stages from baby, toddler, a little boy or girl, a teenager, a young adult, an adult with their own kids, and then of course when the father is no longer around, which phase of that passes away? Which phase of fatherhood would you say is your favorite phase?
I like the right now. I look forward to the future. I think the future is going to be a lot better because we're getting closer and stuff. We start talking about different stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be better than the time I like when he was maybe 7 to like 12. Cause he was curious.
Yeah.
He do taekwondo. He go wrestle. He was just curious, and I just like you just see in his eye. He was just excited about doing a bunch of things.
Right.
By the time he went to high school, he had other people telling him what was cool and what's not. So it kind of like
lost his
like,
yeah.
what are you doing, man? So now high school's gone, and now he's independent with the college. Now he's more like becoming a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me questions, and he can understand things, and he takes advice, and he's accountable. He apologizes. He thanks, like all those things is coming. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Like when he was younger, I just hey, you want to go whatever you want to do. I'll just take you there. You want to go to amusement park? One of those type. When you're 6 to 12, you just want to go have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And then after that, went away. I'm looking forward to getting older with him. Like once he's in college now, all the stuff he's going through. When he gets older, maybe he wants to get married. Like all those things excite me. Like maybe he'll get married. I'll go to the wedding. Maybe I gotta talk.
Right.
Maybe I need to do the first dance. Right. Like all those things. I look forward to all those things.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's deep.
right now we're in the stage of building something new. I think because the high school I think was the worst.
It was tough.
It was it wasn't bad, but it was like it was the miscommunication because teenagers, they getting all this information. You can be telling them the right thing, but their friend tells them, and you're like, I told you that yesterday. Oh, great idea. You should just go do what Johnny says. I told you that, but you can't say it to them like that. You gotta let them think it's their idea, so to speak. And now he's coming around the corner where, Dad, you are kind of smart. You know some things. So.
Anybody else?
I think for me, I stay present in the moment in each phase, and I appreciate each phase of both my kids' development.
John has twins.
I know, and that's different because you have a boy and a girl.
They're 14 years old. I got a boy and a girl, and so I can remember wanting to get home at nighttime so that way I could rock them to sleep because that was a precious moment because that moment's going to be gone,
right?
And I'm going to think back. Damn, I wish I could just rock them to sleep, right?
Yeah, I know.
And then when they go to sleep on their own, you're like, damn, this is great. They're going to sleep on their own. This is amazing.
All night long.
So you got all these things going on, and then even now that they're 14 and they're getting their own identity, I can still sit back and still appreciate what's going on with that. So I don't have a judgment about what's going on and what phase I like the best or not. My son Cody, he's got autism, so it's a developmental delay. So he's 14, but really, developmentally he's maybe 5 or 6, right? And so he's I'm still bigger than him, but he's getting a little bit taller than me, right? And one of the best experiences that I have at this current phase is when we're going through the parking lot, going to the grocery store, he reaches out and he holds my hand because he needs to feel a little bit more secure and safe.
Yeah.
And when we walk into the store, he'll hold my hand, right? And so we're two almost, I'm not saying he's a grown man, he's 14,
right.
He certainly does not look as such, right? If I were to do that with my 14-year-old daughter, she'd be like, what's the matter with you? Like, what are you doing? Don't touch me, right?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that moment. I understand, we have our struggles. Autism is hard.
Right.
All that process is difficult. But when he reaches over and grabs my hand, that's something that you can't do.
Nope.
You can't do. And I don't know.
I'm going to do it next time I see my son and daughter, see what happens.
Right.
Oh, no, my son, he'll say the same
It's
thing.
like you got
What's the matter with
you got an extension. You got an extension or something that because that's the thing about the different phases.
Right.
Everything ends.
Right.
It's like one day you're feeding a bottle and you can pick them up and then one day it just ends.
Done.
It never happens
Yeah,
again.
Yep, done.
And like when I did my monologue, it's about when I used to come home from work. I come home from work, the kids are running at the door every day, and I'm walking in, boom, boom, boom. And one day, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of a jerk because sometimes I'll be like, "Come on, kids, come on, take it easy, go."
Enough.
Yeah, and then one day they didn't come, and then they've never come again. and it's crazy. And I'm gonna let you respond. Now it's one of the things that's crazy is when they go back to college. The house was alive like a couple weeks ago. It was alive. And my son's coming in at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. You got to wait till he comes in. My daughter's upstairs just making noise for no reason. Come down at 1 in the morning, make some eggs, make the whole house. You know what I'm saying? She's making broccoli in the middle of the night. Yo, Sunday they go back to college.
Gone.
Everything's quiet. 8 o'clock, my mom goes up to bed. Deshelle and I are in our little chairs like two old people sitting in the room watching the news. The house is dark. The dog is sitting there. And it's like now I'm like on the countdown for the end of the semester. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm the one waiting for them to go.
Mm.
And if Dayshell says you want to go down to Delaware, you want to go to Virginia, I'm on the first thing hopping to get down to them. And so it's like a crazy turn of events where I basically we had it right. They were right there all that time, and now they're gone.
Yeah, for me, you know, I believe the phase was for my older daughter, Lanesha. It was when she was preteens and teenager and so forth, because we were very close and so forth, you know. And I mean, she would come to me about coming of age things, you know, as a young girl, you know, young woman coming of age things and so forth, you know. And I remember one time when she was like probably like early 20s after college and so forth, and we were talking, and she was just like, yeah, she goes, you know, I'm talking to my friends and so forth, and you know, I like how I can talk to you about anything, you know, and we've had that connection and so forth, and so, but now the evolution of that, right, that connection is it's not as strong as it used to be,
right,
and so now I'm like you, I want that connection back, like, you know, I want to talk to you like we used to talk back in the day. How come we can't do that no more, you know,
right,
and it's just like, oh, that's just the way it is, you know, and so. That's been challenging, actually. Exactly what you're saying right there is that when that phase is being in the now, as you're saying, right, and not the past and so forth. You know, I had read the past can bring depression, the future can bring anxiety and so forth, but you focused on the now, right? And I've been on that past, like, let's get that back. You know, I mean, we ain't getting that back. Right, but we still have what we have right now in this moment, you know. So let's honor that.
So you have 2 daughters.
2 daughters, yes.
No sons?
No sons.
2 daughters. You have 1 son. You have a son and a daughter. I have 2 daughters and a son. And all different phases. Because my oldest daughter, she's in her 30s. Then my middle daughter's 20 and my son's 18. He'll be 19 next month. And my oldest daughter, me and her have a unique relationship because she was there a long time. It was just her. She, you know, she lived in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta. I moved back home. She comes to visit, you know, and stuff like that. Come and my middle daughter, my little daughter, I call her my little daughter. She's bigger than the other one, but she is my first child with Dayshell, her mom, right? And when she was little, until she turned into a teenager, me and her were like thick as thieves. She was like somebody you could hug. She never used to, like, you know how toddlers, they start walking? She wouldn't walk. You'd have to carry her everywhere. And it wasn't because she couldn't walk. She just was like, I'm good, carry me. You know what I'm saying? Carry me, Dad. She doesn't drive. She never learned how to ride a bike. She's like one of those kids. Like, she just doesn't do certain stuff. And then my son, he's, you know, I think my son, I was very tough on my son when he was little. To the point where I actually had to do my own, like, self-reflection to say, like, what are you doing? Like, I was doing all the things that I didn't like, the things that I didn't want, he was catching. The girls would always be like, you know, foo-foo, blah, blah, blah. But my son, and it was like this invisible concern that he was going to be taken advantage of, that he was not tough enough, that he needed to have a little bit more oomph to him. And I was going to be the one to give it to him.
Right?
And the thing is that there was a point where I think my son was fearful of me. Like, where all this fatherhood talk, everything I'm doing, all this fatherhood stuff, and when I go home, I'm a monster to my son. And one day I realized that situation, the incident we had on that one day was good, but it was also bad. It was good because I realized that if I'm the monster, then how is he going to be ready for anybody else? If he's fearful of me, the person that should be protecting him, the person he should be, you know, that loves him, cares about him, that means everybody's a monster. Everybody has the capability to be a monster, or he's going to be a monster.
But also, too, who is he going to seek that protection from?
Where does he get it? If he can't get it from me, where does he get it from?
Right.
So, fortunately, I had this realization, did a lot of thinking about it, and I realized. So now I'm like on this. I'm an advocate for fathers. Stop taking on the role as a disciplinarian. I'm an advocate for fathers. Like, you don't have to only be that.
Right.
You know, we're gonna be the bring home the bacon. We're gonna whoop some butts and take some names.
Wait till your father.
Wait. We're not doing that no more. Because our sons, the whole, like, especially, I'm gonna say this, John, especially the black children, especially black boys. The whole world is out to get them, and I'm out to get them too. Nah, but I'm not gonna be the one out to get them. He's gonna get hugs, and I never gave him a kiss, but he's gonna get hugs.
You say that? Yeah, I still kiss my son on the forehead. That's one thing he allows that. I've always kissed him. I've always kissed him goodnight, kiss him on the forehead. I still do that, and and put to the point like he doesn't nothing like get away from me,
right?
Because he expects it. I say I love you to him all the time.
Yeah,
that's nothing, right? When it was young, it's like, oh, you love me. Like now I could just be like, I love you, Dad. He'll say it to me, but oh, I love you too, man. Like so, it's back and forth because that's now become normal, right? So
you normalize it.
I kiss my daughter on the forehead.
Yeah.
35. I still love you.
Love my son.
We got twins. I'm gonna tell you, we have twins. So my younger brother and sister are twins. They're about to be 50, right? So my grandmother was a twin, and now I had brother and sister twins, and now my niece just had twins, fraternal, boy and girls and so forth. So just want to share that with you.
Wow. It's a lot. Discipline doesn't mean you're a monster.
I was a monster. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but if you have that balance between a solid relationship and discipline, fear can shift things in a different way to protect your children. There needs to be a certain level of, hey, there might be sharks in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the comment you made about diversity, right? So, my wife and my daughter, right? My wife and my daughter. My wife is hard on my daughter. I mean, she gives it to my daughter, right? I give it to her in a different way, in that, there's certain things that I expect and certain things need to be done this way. And when it doesn't happen, I might get a little bit loud, but we have a good relationship and it's one and done, right? And we're able to kind of move on. My wife, it's got the high bar, the high expectations. She's got the big time discipline, and I don't dispute that because it's needed. Yeah, because she's going out as a black woman. Right into a world that's.
Well, I'm all for it. However, I'm not saying like now I'm like a fluff. Like I don't talk to my son and say to him when he's doing something wrong or something like that. It's not like I just pulled all the way back. But it was like, I'm talking about, I was at the point where I was taking swings at my son.
I used to watch you play basketball on the Facebook there.
That was a discipline. That was light.
I saw those.
Those were great.
Those were into the garbage can.
Those were the best. But that's when that was after I got better.
That was a good one.
Yeah, those are the good ones. He got me back.
Well, he's bigger now.
Yeah. He's like, you want to play anytime now? And I'm like working out. I'm like, this summer I'm going to give it a try. So we'll put it on the live and see what happens. But
when was the last time you hugged him?
When he went to college.
It's just like that? No, there was no hesitation?
No hesitation.
So you talked about the 50 hugs with your father.
Yeah.
Right? Are you hugging more?
I'm hugging a lot more than I'm hugging a lot more than I would if I was just going to be myself the way that I normally am. I'm hugging a lot more. And my kids, if they come in the house, when they come and they're around, I'm hugging them. They got much more hugs. They shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be a thing where they can count the amount of hugs that they've had in their life from me. They won't be able to do that. That's where we are with it.
And that's interesting because our generation, like for us, we can count them on one hand. How many times I said I love you,
Yeah.
And now we're just like, you know what? Nah, we're not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. Yeah.
It's not gonna be a count. It's just gonna be.
I gotta always shout out Kevin Booker.
Booker.
You gotta Booker.
I know
right?
Booker. Yeah.
I gotta shout out Kevin Booker because Booker, he takes like the hugs is one thing, and then the I love you is a whole nother thing, because I didn't grow up. My parents were great parents, but it wasn't like they were like I love you like all the time. And if anybody knows Booker is gonna tell you he loves you. And it's very uncomfortable for me. Like the first 100 times that he told me he loved me, I was kind of like, I love you too.
like that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I like.
And it's the thing, but it's like one of those things where I've actually had to I walked away from him saying like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? With the love all the time. Like, why is he always loving somebody? And it was really a thing where I was like really like having a hard time because it wasn't something. Not to say if I didn't hear from my parents, to hear it from another man was almost like, God, what's wrong with him?
Mm-hmm.
But it got to the point where it actually like he softened me in a sense where I was like able to accept. And it's crazy.
I don't believe it.
No, it's true. I saw him. I know.
Oh my
He knows.
God.
He knows.
I don't believe it.
I know.
What is going on?
Yeah. If
What's
somebody
the deal?
tells
It's
you they
like the
love
upside
you,
down in
1,000
Stranger
times.
Things. Play the Stranger Things.
I
theme song.
created it's a group of guys. It's a group of guys. I probably have 10 guys that tell me they love me. And it's like, what do you do at a certain point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They all say it now. It's contagious now.
They all say
Now
it.
everyone says it now.
I say it too.
So
That
I
I
never-
love you,
people say
dude.
that love you?
Yeah.
It's
all over the place.
It's
It's contagious now.
everywhere, man. I'm
Yeah.
trying to
I
tell
can't
you.
go on.
But I'd be like, one love, man. Peace, man. You know,
Yeah,
one love, you know?
no, these
But
guys
I
are
say-
like
I say
these
it too,
guys
love
are
you.
like in a strong embrace,
Oh, that-
and they you're
Love you,
here.
bro.
Very like that.
I love
I
you,
can't
And I'm like-
believe this. I can't believe it. I can't believe
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
seeing.
Like, word, man, word.
Yeah, Ditto, my guy.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yo, it's out there.
Big up.
John knows me when I was a very young guy. Me and John used to work in a place together, and I don't know what happened. It's not my fault.
I've always been overly emotional, right?
Yes.
I've always been overly emotional.
Yes.
The work we did together, I'm very, in it. Even my human up, right?
Yes. Yes, human up, man.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
Man up. Add the H and the U, allow the man to be human.
Yes.
Human up,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
have grown into a human being.
I'm a human being.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
I
50
love
years
you.
old. Yes, that's
Oh
what
my
happens, man.
God.
All right, let me ask you this question, you guys. What did fatherhood teach you that nothing else could? What is one thing that fatherhood taught
Going
you?
in, huh?
Yeah, these
that's-
are good questions.
On my father's birthday, you
Yo,
going in, huh?
what is one thing fatherhood taught you that nothing else could?
Oh,
I'm gonna start going to you first.
she would do that, right?
Yeah.
It taught me how to grow up.
Okay.
It taught me, it's gonna sound really cliche, but it taught me how to be a man. Really, because like I said, I'm 16, 17 when she's born. And so, I mean, I turned 17 after she's born.
Right.
You know, a month after and so forth, you know. And I'm looking for any reason or excuse not to be a father.
Yeah.
You know? And I tell you, and here's the definitive moment. I went to go see her at her mother's house, and she was just walking, so she's a little bit over 1, I'd say, about 1, a little bit over 1. And I walk in the door, and I go to grab her, you know, my hands out and so forth. She starts crying, and I'm like, I said, "Mother, why is she crying?"
Right.
And her mother says, "She doesn't know you," because I thought at that point fatherhood was osmosis.
Yes.
Like you're supposed to know I'm your father
Right.
automatically, like ancestrally.
Yes.
And so it was a gut wrenching feeling. Like I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta put work into this.
You gotta put
You
work
know,
in.
I gotta put
You gotta
work
put
into
the work
it.
in.
And so that's when I started putting in the work and so forth.
Yeah.
And I remember her grandmother saying, you know, what are you gonna do? And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna be here, you know. And then years later, when she graduated high school, her grandmother said, "You were there.
You were there."
So I mean, she taught me to be a man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
key. So, what about you? One thing.
I always thought that once I have a child that like people are gonna judge me like how I handle this. Like my mom, my dad, whoever, people around me are gonna judge me how I handle this, having a child. Am I gonna be a good father, bad father?
Right.
It's not all about me. I also
Yeah.
learned. So it's like I'm being judged.
Yeah.
Not maybe not in real time, but eventually you're gonna be either a good dad or a bad dad.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was important, and I just felt that it was. I knew immediately it was a serious thing, like a very serious thing, and I took it very seriously. Like this is something I have to put the time in, the effort in. I can't go nowhere. I wanted to be there. My thing I used to say to my wife is like, I'll be here till he's 18.
Yeah.
At 18, I'm done.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, and I never want him to be alone.
Yeah.
I always felt like, you're not here, you're here out of love. You know, people fall out of love, but you're here because of love. So you being by yourself is not something that's going to happen because I brought you. You know what I'm saying? So I felt a sense of like, what's the word?
Responsibility.
Super sense of responsibility once
Yeah.
he was born. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. John, what about you?
So I think what I've learned is this is my mountaintop, right? Like I think we always we want to be better. We always want to be better, right?
Yeah.
We may want maybe another degree or write another book or do something like that. But I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm at. This is my, Super Bowl.
Right.
If you will,
Nice.
is being a father.
Nice.
And the other piece is slow down. And just really enjoy the moment. Even if you're super busy, right? All it takes is 3 seconds to make an observation and go, oh, damn, that's pretty cool.
Right.
I'm glad I was here for that moment. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it's taught me.
I think the thing that fatherhood taught me that nothing else could is, I think I like the being a man part, but I think it's, and the responsibility, but I think it was something in between that, like that I had to be the one to do it. Like I couldn't just let their mother's love or either mother that was not gonna be enough. Like I have to develop this relationship. I have to show up. I have to be there for them. They have to know that I am their father. Like you say, kind of like not just picking them up, but like that. Like I often like I talk about my son a lot because my son, because we do all the manhood stuff, he shows up to it. And the other day, like I remember before he went back to college, he was so mad that his friends didn't come to like we did the workout circuit, and his friends didn't come with him. And usually he'll come and then bring like 3 or 4 of his friends, and he's like, all the stuff that you and mom did for them, they could at least show up for an hour workout, And it's like just hearing them so passionate about the stuff, but it's like, as much as he was worried about his friends showing up for them, it's cool when my son shows up for me. Like I'm doing something and he's coming to the thing and being a part of it. And so it's like, like you look out in the audience and you're like, I hope people come. And then my son walks in with 2 or 3 people. It's like I must be doing something right because he's like basically coming to work. Like this is my job, the work that I do, and he's like buying into it. And so I just find that to be, really cool. Let's switch gears real quick on daughters. So you don't have a daughter, but I'm gonna ask this question. So daughters, I find talking about my son, I think we have a unique relationship. My older daughter, I think we have a unique relationship. She just had tons of time. But my little daughter, she's a tough one, man.
Yeah. My daughter's tough too.
Yeah,
my daughter's
He's like, yeah.
My daughter's, her IQ is way up there.
Yeah.
I could be giving my best fatherhood type of discipline kind of a rant, and I might be saying something like, well, what's your problem? She's like, listen, straight like this. Listen, I'm not the one with the problem. Look at you getting all red in the face. Whatever.
Man.
You're the one with the problem.
Oh,
And they go,
Yeah.
she got me.
She got you.
I am.
Yeah.
I got a problem.
Yeah. You got that's deep. Wow. See, my daughter, she's past like that kind of conversation, but she's like it's like she's in her own world. Like I'm like saying to her, like, yo, what are you gonna do with your life? I ask my kids this like every day that I get a chance. What are you gonna do with your life? And I'm always me and my wife, we were saying like she's coming back to live with us because she doesn't know how to drive. She doesn't got a bank account. It's like she eats cheeseburgers every day. That's the only thing she eats is cheeseburger. And how do you tell a 20-year-old like, yo, you're gonna eat something with that cheeseburger? And then she's like, no, I'm not. Right? And then she'll just leave the cheeseburger right there in the middle of the plate. Every time we go out, she'll order a bunch of cheeseburger. Almost give me some broccoli. And then she'll just leave the food and don't eat nothing.
My daughter does the same thing.
I'm like about
Doesn't
to
eat.
choke her out. And so, but it's like, I called her yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm going to give her a phone call. I haven't talked to her. Because I always talk to her through her mom. Her mom's right there talking to her. So then I'll be like, hey, how you doing, girl? How you doing, girl? That's my whole conversation. So I said, I'm going to give her a call. I call her up. Hey, what's going on, Oh, Dad, I'm just sitting in the dorm, chilling with my friends. I didn't have any classes today. And I was like, you didn't have any classes today? You're in college. You got classes
Every day.
Yeah.
I've been there.
She says, the teachers have been canceling class. And so I'm like, yo, we pay for these classes.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, that's not my problem.
I do be canceling class.
You do?
I'm known for canceling classes.
Man, I'm like, yo, you better go somewhere.
I'll rate my professor. They be like, "Nose be canceling classes."
What are you doing? What are you doing to have to cancel?
Sleeping, man.
Oh,
I don't feel like getting up.
yo. But I'm trying to figure out with her how to tighten it, how to get closer, because she's like out on a on her own little island, and it's like
Is it close? Her and the mom close?
her mom, her mom.
Yeah, that's
no,
it.
What
Yeah,
about me?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
like,
That's
you know-
it. What about you? That's the thing. They're like, wait.
This is the daughter where until she graduated from high school, I wouldn't let her wear like a little half shirt because I was like, we're Muslim, and she's like, you're Muslim, and so as soon as she graduated
That's funny.
high school, she only wears half shirts, except in the house. In the house, she'll wear a 3X, but the minute she's about to go outside,
He said, you're Muslim.
Half shirt.
yeah, you're Muslim, buddy. Assalamu alaikum.
I think for me, with my younger daughter, she's 28, and she moved away when she was 5 to Jersey.
Okay.
And so our relationship has been estranged over the years. It hasn't been the strongest. Now that she's older, we can have these conversations and start to talk about life and talk about me and her mom's decisions when she was younger and so forth. Talk about the complexity of the relationship between me and her mother and so on and so forth. And so there's been lost years.
Yeah.
Lost years of everything that you're talking about. You know what I mean? And so, but now we can talk as adults. Like she has her own mind and philosophies already. I'm just like, well, where'd you get these from? Like, what happened?
Right.
But I know what happened. It was the lapse of time and space and opportunity.
Right.
And so for now, and we're still not all the way there. And I don't know what all the way there looks or feels like.
Right.
But there's still some room to some space to be bridged.
Yeah.
And her mom has cancer right now. She's battling cancer.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, and of course we're all praying for mom and so forth. And I'm really praying for mom. Like, you got to stay here because if you ascend and so forth, like, wow, what's that gonna look like for our relationship?
Yeah.
I'm being a little selfish here, right?
Yeah.
Me and my daughter, like, so like, stick around.
Yeah.
So it's a rocky road right now.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say and everything I said, and I think this might be good for you too, intention.
Ah.
So it's like the intention, like the desire, the intention I have is I want to be closer to her. I want to understand, like what, like I would like to understand what her and her mom are doing. Like, like why is her mom and her so easily talk? Even my son, they all talk to their mom. Like their mom is number one.
Mom's golden.
Always.
But it's like I want to get in on some of that, and it's funny because like basically like if you know me as a younger me, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, great, mom's got it. But it's kind of like as I've become cushionier, I feel the desire. Like I want to be in their lives. I want to be.
I always think they have I see my wife talking to my son, like, man, why you don't talk to me like that? Like,
Yeah, it's a different kind of
I'm watching like, y'all got a different relationship, man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's moms, man.
Yeah, mama.
Yeah, it's moms. Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this question. I want to ask this question, but I'm gonna ask this question. What's one moment of fatherhood that touched your soul?
Man, we going in right now, huh?
These are just little questions.
Oh, touching the soul is a little question. I got a little question.
That's
Hey, yo, man, what's that to touch your soul?
The bottom of it. The bottom.
The bottom of the soul. Not your foot.
Take. I'm gonna let that one marinate. I'm gonna put that in the back of your mind.
you see us scratching our beards,
Yeah.
right? Everybody scratching their chins and beards.
I'm gonna put that in the back.
Except you.
No, because I have an answer.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, what touch your soul? I tell you right now, it's a mine.
Put that in the back. I'm gonna put that in the back. We'll come back to that one. Let's switch
Touch
to
your soul.
what. This is about. This. I'm gonna direct this to Your dad is still alive?
My dad is still alive, yeah.
You're the luckiest
I
guy.
am very lucky.
Yeah, you are.
I know.
So this is about forgiveness of your father. And I'll start because I want to say that there are parts of me that are upset with my father not being here. I'm a little sad. I'm mad at him sometimes because it's like why didn't you take better care of yourself? It's like I think you could have. Like I look at my mom. My mom is like 79 and she's just walking around with her little outfits on, and I'm saying to myself like, what were you doing, man? And it's like, you know, as somebody has had different health issues and stuff like that, I can understand how health issues work, but it's like so the question's about, have you forgiven your father? And I'm gonna say it to you because you know your father passed away at 6 months. I'm sure that there's somewhere in that process of your life, there's been some, you know, maybe some anger about that whole and blaming or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so what do you think about that?
Yeah. So like my father died at 42. 42 years old. Heart attack on the job. 9 kids. I'm his ninth child.
Wow.
Mom's stay-at-home mom and so forth. You know, he's the breadwinner. He's in the 50s. Well, 50s, which is 74. And I just found out from my brother. I was in Atlanta last week, and that my dad died in the car. Right, because I had learned that the cops came to the house and told my mom dad died at the job and so forth. But he died in the car. You know. And kind of the same thing, like, man, he was a drinker, alcoholic and so forth. And I was like, man, why can't you take care of yourself? Mom died at 87.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my dad be 95 today. You know, it's like, so, I mean, dang, man. So there was a lot of displaced emotions, you know, all, of course, coming through anger until I was able to start to express it, right, through, it was poetry that really helped me. Really start to talk about the abyss in my heart. And what I had realized over the years is that all this time, for many years I should say, I was trying to fill that hole with anything I could fill it with, you know, anything. And it got to the point where I had realized, dude, this hole's not going anywhere. Right? And so instead of trying to fill it, what I've done now is I've put a yellow tape around it. It's a hole. It's going to be there. You know, and so that way I'm not stepping into it each time I think about my father and the shoulda, woulda, couldas, and I step into it, and I'm at the bar, and, you know, and I step into it, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and so forth, and stop stepping into that manhole in my heart, and really just acknowledge what it is, and acknowledge that he stuck around for 6 months. He could have died 6 months ahead of time. I might even be here right now. You know what I mean? He stayed alive just long enough for me to be conceived and for him to hold me in his arms. My mother told the story where that night when he was going to work, he just held me for a very long time. He was sweating and so forth, and he held me for a very long time. And you know, I'm grateful for that. You know, because I mean, I wouldn't be a father. I wouldn't have grandchildren right now, so on and so forth. But it was a long time. I'm talking into like, you know, late 20s, you know, early 30s as to like, why? Why do all my siblings have one memory, at least one memory of you? I have zero. You know, I don't dream about my father. I have a picture of him, wedding picture, you know, picture of him long jumping and so forth. You know, a couple of pictures, and that's it. And so for years, I'm just like, man, this is bullshit, man. Like, you know, But now I you know, clearly I get it now. You know, and at times that emotions, those displaced emotions, will try to surface again as anger. And I'm like, come on, Fred, you know better. You know better. Now, come on, you know. And if I stumble and fall, I'm gonna make it back up, man. I can't be living with this, you know, something that is what it is. You know?
Out of your control ultimately.
Out of my control, you know.
So what about you?
Forgiveness, just through conversations with him as I got older.
Okay.
When you're young, there's two sides of the story. Or it's three, right? His, hers, and the truth. So, just being older and understanding. When I was doing the shorts, the for Tubi. I was gonna do the Fatherhood shorts.
Yeah.
So like the first one is something kind of on the lines of that, meaning like my father would. I remember one time when I was young, he didn't pick me up to go to the zoo. Right. I've never been to the zoo ever. Right.
In your life?
In my life, never.
Don't
been
go
to
to
the zoo.
the New Haven Zoo. Don't
Right.
ever go there.
But he was supposed to come. Right. So but
Seriously, don't go there.
but
The Beardsley
It's
Zoo
the
is
terrible
fine.
zoo.
I'll
It's the
take you
worst
to-
zoo
I'll
ever.
take you to the
no,
Beardsley.
I'll take you
You
to
come
the
we wrong the
thing.
Beardsley Zoo.
It's
Nothing.
Listen,
Nothing.
there's a wolf in that zoo. He's walked the path so much that it's like it's all mapped out the path. It's the saddest zoo you will ever go to in your life. I took my
All the
kids
animals
there.
are captive. We know they're captive, but it really
Most
looks like.
zoos are sad.
No, no.
Yeah, I
This
know.
one- this
They're
one
all
is
captive,
extra
aren't they? All
sad.
captive.
My kids, we were in there crying, all of us. My whole family was in there.
They're
tearing up.
little. They're little.
No, they were big enough to know of the abuse taking place in that zoo.
No abuse
I'm sorry.
in that zoo.
What are you talking
Are you a
about?
zookeeper? He's like,
Hey, the zookeeper.
Yes,
I work
I'm
there.
a member. I'm a member of the Beardsley Zoo.
It's terrible. It's the worst zoo ever. If you call Deshelle right now, when we get off, I'm gonna call my wife and I say, Deshelle, remember that time we went to the Beardsley Zoo? And she's gonna say, terrible.
They got tigers and stuff. You go to the zoo.
See that?
Terrible.
We'll go. I'll take.
Well, listen. Well, the point is that I do these shorts because my dad didn't come, right? And older, when I got older, and we spoke about it. He said why he didn't come. He's like, oh, I got stuck at work. You didn't have a phone,
Right.
but
He couldn't call you like
right,
that.
right. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, as a kid,
Yeah.
no one explained that to me.
Right.
I just thought my dad was, he don't even love me,
Just
man.
didn't come.
Like they all knew why. No one
Yeah.
told me why. The
Right.
kid. So it's my whole life. I just thought you didn't want to. You just didn't care. But I thought, like through conversation we talked. They didn't like each other at that point in time. My father and mom, so they're both saying things about each other, making other one look bad. So now as an adult, I understand that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's like my dad's like, I was trying, man. Your mom was this. I'm like, yeah, my
Yeah.
mom is kind of. So like I know how my mom is.
Yeah, the yin yang. Yeah.
Right, so I understood at the end. I'm like, man, she is tough, man. But whew. And I still think, man, nothing keep me away from my son.
Yeah.
Right,
right.
He was like, man, it was, and then he had another child. Right, so then he was with that. Then he stayed with that woman.
family, yeah.
And then my mom was like, blah, blah, blah. So I understood it, and I could understand it. Not saying that I would do the same thing,
Right.
But I could understand where it was, and he
Yeah.
only knew what he knew. He didn't have, like my grandfather wasn't around.
Right.
Like my father's father, he was in South Carolina. They weren't strong. They didn't have a strong relationship.
Right.
So he didn't know where to get any of that information from. He didn't know how to like navigate that. So he was obviously trying to navigate it by himself.
Right.
And I guess the result of that is me.
Yeah.
Me feeling the way I did, and no one explained it to me as a kid. Where I don't necessarily need to know you. That you got bills and stuff. I need to know that you could have come, but I couldn't call, and that's why I didn't did it. It'll make
You
me
made
feel
an effort. You
It'll
made
made me feel
Yeah.
better as a kid, and I just know that part of it. I don't
Right.
need to know everything about it, but the part that affected me,
Yeah.
it affected me after that day for like 30 years till we talked about it.
This summer we're going to the Bronx Zoo. We're gonna go to a real zoo.
Not on Wednesdays though.
No,
I try to go on a
yeah.
Wednesday because it's free in the Bronx. Don't go. You can never get in.
No.
I got a membership. I'll take.
Oh, look, look.
I got memberships to all the zoos.
Look at this. This is. I didn't know. I'm next to the zoo man. Right, I want to.
Why do you have
My
members
son-
to all the zoos?
My son is
He's Zulu.
My son,
Yeah?
He
my
loves
son
the zoo?
wants to be a zookeeper.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
that makes
This
sense.
is-
That
right.
was his
All right.
thing. He's deep in.
What does your son think about the Bearsleys?
He wants to be a
He
zookeeper
loves
there.
the Beardsley
It's the
Zoo.
worst. Don't
There's a
trust
Birds of Prey show there. They got all
God.
kinds of.
When the
good
last
shit
time
on
you
it.
went?
You went on a bad day.
He went
I
in 2017.
Yo,
Wolf
listen,
was
the
having a
tiger,
bad
the tiger he's talking about is in a cage the size of this room.
No, they're redoing it.
This is its cage.
They're redoing it. It's getting redone.
It's like the White House, man. You know, tear down this wing over here, put the wing over here.
But for the last 20 years, he's lived in this room.
Yeah,
Can you imagine living in here?
That is true. But they're
I know. I made a true analysis of the
He said,
beauty.
"Ah."
John, I excluded you. But I want to. Is there anything maybe that you need to forgive?
I think that the topic of forgiveness is a whole different level for me because
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I'm not holding on to stuff like that anymore.
Okay.
I think as I mature and grow,
Yeah.
like if someone does me wrong, I'm like, okay, maybe that's it, and there's no room
You don't deal with it
for
anymore.
forgiveness. I'm not going to deal with it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's too much. Maybe that's too harsh. But when it comes to family, listen, I'm going to make mistakes. My dad's made mistakes. He's going to continue to make mistakes. Right? Your kids are going to make mistakes.
Right.
Forgiveness is implying that they did you dirty, right? And I don't want to think like that,
Right.
Because it's not intentional. If there's an intentional thing that they're coming at you in some kind of way, okay, that's different.
Yeah.
But I got to assume goodwill. I got to assume that the intent, right, of whatever you stepped in wasn't to stick it to you.
I realized that later. Like you said,
Right.
like I like growing up, I just think you did it because you don't like me. Everyone's initial reaction is like you internalize it, like, oh, you don't like me or you don't like this. I never thought of it just didn't work out the way he wanted to. He has good intentions. Like so I know my son thinks that. Whatever happens, whatever I do, is like my dad was trying to. I know he wasn't trying not to come do something for me. He knows that because I've showed him so many times where I've been there. Like my father's never showed me any of that, so I'm thinking immediately like, this is another time you ain't coming, another time. And then my mom say stuff, so it's like it just adds on to it, like, and in hindsight, he was trying. That's what I learned later.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
that's
like,
what I learned too. Actually, you know, when at late 20s, 30s, it was like, Freddie, he died. You know, he didn't die on you.
Right,
You know what I mean? Why'd you die before I could meet?
Right.
You know, he died. It was the time, and he died. Like, what do you want from the guy? You know, he got you here, gave you some good principles and morals, and you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me is the part about it's like putting my anger in the wrong place or my sadness in the wrong place. But it's like it still happens because it's something you want. Like I want him. I want him here. I want to talk to him. I want him to see. You know, my grandson's name is Cairo too.
Oh, all right.
You know, I want to. He never met
Air horn,
Cairo.
please. Air horn.
Yeah, Cairo.
Uh-huh.
You know.
hey,
It's-
whatever you
Cairo.
want, so you just press that right.
Yeah. And so, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's more. It's more of that than an actual anger or needing to forgive him. But it's like just saying like he's missing out on so much. You know, everybody you lose.
Yeah.
Everybody you lose. That's how you feel. You're like, you know, I wish they were here because they're missing out. And you and then when you think about a family, sometimes I'm envious of my wife's family. Because they're so close, like if they do something, they say gonna do something, they're all showing up.
Showing up.
And when my father was alive, that's how my family was. But since when he started dying, people couldn't take it, and then we started pulling away from each other.
Yeah.
And we and my wife, my mother, they expect me. They're like, Abdul, bring it back together. And I'm like, I'm not my dad. I don't have that same kind of like. Maybe in the community I might be able to do it, but in my family, I'm still Abdul. They know they know me, and so it's like you can't just hide. You know, like they know the whole story. They're like, F that dude, and I'm not doing nothing for him. So, anyways,
I just want to just real quick. You know, when you talk about dad not being here for like the grandchildren, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
My brother died tragically at 50, 17 years ago, and so forth. Right, shot by the police in Florida. Trying to, not trying to, stabbing his ex-wife and so forth, you know. And I'm looking now, his granddaughter just had another child and so forth. And, you know, he could have been a great grandfather right now, and, you know. And so, in that sense of forgiveness, John, I'm just like, you know, I do forgive him now because he did do us dirty because he knew what he was doing. And the cop told him, he said, listen, he said, stop. And he kept going. It's like suicide by cop. He was, you know, hurting another human being and so forth. But I'm looking at his lineage, his legacy, and I'm just like, man,
missing it.
Come on, man. You know. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. So, what did your father leave behind? This is going back to our earlier conversation about. So this is fatherhood is forever. So if we're thinking about fatherhood, what did your father leave behind, or is your father leaving behind that you still carry, that you were carrying? I'm gonna come to you first, so.
That he left behind and I am still carrying.
Yeah.
Student loan debt?
No, he ain't.
I'm just kidding.
Nah. He was one of the get a trade. Get me a trade.
Don't go to college.
Yeah, give me a trade, boy. What did he? Oh man, where did he leave? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't I grew up without my father. Right. A lot of my father figures were coaches. I played sports, so there were a lot of and like I said, they were estranged, man. They didn't like each other. I would go to my grandmother's, and I would spend more time with my grandmother. My dad wouldn't come around because my mom, for whatever reason, it was just very toxic. They use now, right? It was just weird.
Right.
So like my dad was always, people would always talk to me like, oh, they know me because we have the same name. Last name is different, but they will know because I'm a light-skinned version of my dad. So they'd be like, oh, you look just, I'm like, that's my dad. Matter of fact, Deirdre,
yeah.
Deirdre, when my father passed a couple of years ago.
She was at the funeral.
Matter of fact, tomorrow it'll be 2 years, right? When Dad passed. And when she found out I was my father, when I go to the office, she was telling me stories about him. Oh, I remember he used to work at Hugh Blind.
Right.
He did it. I'm like, oh, nah, I never knew.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, when I grew up, I was heavy into sports, and those coaches kind of took me in. And my father, I'll go see him sometimes or whatever, but he wasn't really in my life, so I didn't have. I kind of a lot of the time when I like in the city you grew up, like I'm going to do it in spite of. That's a lot of stuff. Is like I'm gonna do it because he don't think I can, or So a lot of that was my whole time growing up was I internalized everything. It's like you don't want me, you don't love me,
right.
And it wasn't when I found out. But that's how I kind of got through everything. Like I'm gonna show him, I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be this. So
like a negative reinforcement,
right? So I kind of like did all that. So he didn't really. And that's what I'm trying to leave my son. So he didn't really leave me anything.
Right. So is there anything that you do during the course of the week, the days, the month, where you go, man, that's just like my dad would do?
No, because I didn't have enough.
What about when you look in the mirror?
I look like him, right? But I don't know. I learned from other people. Other people tell me like your dad used to do. You're just like, I'm like I don't know. Because when we got older, he was older. We had a relationship. We watched the game together and stuff. But by this time, my dad was late 50s. He died at 69, so he's like he was older, so we just chilling watching the game. It wasn't nothing like I could see like he used to play basketball,
right?
He used to do, and I played basketball, but it was never together. It was nothing like together or it was there.
When someone says, "Oh, that's something like your dad would do," do you go, "Oh wow, that's cool," or are you like, "Yeah, whatever"?
I do that now. We have the relationship to understand, okay. So I'm like, man, and I kind of feel like. I wish I had more of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right? I wish I would have had more of that. I wish I would have had a better relationship with him. But then, and would I be how I am now? How I internalize everything and I flip
change
it.
One thing, you change everything.
Right. I'll flip it how I am now. I flip everything as like, okay, you don't like me. Even though they may like me. I just do that. And that's how I get through everything. That's how I push through everything and make, I guess, that pain or whatever I'm imagining, make it worth something for me. Sure. So I've always done that.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna piggyback on that because I was gonna say for my answer, honestly, was his swag, right? Okay. Because like you were saying, like when I'm walking down the street, whatever, he's like, "You're a Knowles, ain't you?" Just the swag. Oh yeah, you're a Knowles. And my dad's name is Harvey, right? And my brother's name is Harvey Jr. and so forth. So I would meet people and so forth, and they go, "You look just like Harvey." You know, I know, and I know your father, but no, you know my brother. Oh, you the baby that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then this one time, this lady goes, I know your father. I go, no, you're talking about my brother. She goes, no, I'm talking about your father. And this is the only person I've ever met in my life that knew my father and talked to me about my father.
Wow.
And, you know, my mannerisms and so on and so forth, you know, my style, you know, it comes from him. And then my mom, who used to go to Chili's for lunch and so forth, she always order a cola, a Coke, no ice, and so forth. And there's a poem in the book, Singing Moonlight Alone, about this. And she sit there and she look at me, she just smiling. I'm like, what, Ma? You look just like your father. You know what I mean? And so
I used to get those too.
Yeah, it's swag.
It's the reason why she said, man, you look just like that.
You know,
like she get upset sometimes. She look at me like, oh, you look just like us. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? She's like, you.
Go sit in the other room.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. Yeah.
One of the things that happens to me when I grow my beard out, people say, "Oh, you look like your dad," and then maybe a week later, I shave my beard every time. Every single time, because I feel like it's too much. That's too much pressure to walk around being my dad.
Fill them shoes.
And it's subconscious. I'll find a reason. All of a sudden, I'm like, it's not. Something's not. And I'll shave my beard totally off. And it happens every time I get a beard gets. I don't know if mine's been that long, but it's about that long. And then I'll shave it off. And so obviously last month somebody must have said something to me, and I shaved my beard off.
I was going to text you every once in a while. How you doing, man? You look like your father.
But that was,
And it's not a negative.
but
It's not a
that
negative.
wasn't your question. What was
The question was, what do you still carry?
Right. So what is it that you still carry?
Oh,
I
well,
like John. You're good, man. You're
Yeah.
right on point.
That's a social worker right there.
You answer the question, young brother.
No, the thing I carry, I think is it's like the responsibility. I feel like I had a great role model. One of the things that you talk about swag. One time when I was 13 years old, maybe I was 12. We were this is when I moved to Connecticut. My father went to his job for the last day, and I went with him. And when he was walking across the campus, he worked at this place called Spring Valley. And so he's walking across the campus, and people are running up to him, giving him hugs, and they're crying, and they're saying, "I'm gonna miss you. You were so, nice to me." And when I was a little bit older, I worked at the Village. My dad was a senior vice president at the Village, and I used to watch how he would walk in a room, have a suit on, and I feel like that was something I said, one day people were gonna welcome, like when they see me coming, they're gonna be happy to see me. They're gonna respect my work. I'm gonna do stuff that's good in such a way that people are gonna always, when they speak about me, they'll say something good. And I feel like I was trying to be like my dad in that way. So that's what I carry, is that I feel like, I've started, I don't wear it like all the time. Like when I go to the masjid, I'll put on a kufi. And my dad always wore a kufi.
Yeah.
And it's like last Friday, me and my mom go to the masjid, we go to prayer. I put on my kufi, and she's like getting so like all happy and stuff. And so it's like but to me it's like respect. He had so much respect, and it wasn't like respect of fear. It was respect of like he does good work. He cares about the people. He's of the people, and that was one thing that was always important to me. And so I feel like that's the thing that I carried from my dad.
And you carry it well too.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to say. That's what you do.
Did your dad have a PhD?
No.
So
But
that
people
was
used to
the
call it-
craziest thing, right?
Yeah.
He would walk into the room and he'd go, "Oh, Dr. Muhammad."
yeah,
Dr. Muhammad.
yeah. That's right.
I
They
think
do
the
that to me
important
sometimes too.
piece, with your dad and what you do is, it's a respect,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the bigger piece is when you talk to a Muhammad,
Yeah.
you feel valued,
Mm-hmm.
right? You feel like you got purpose and you got value.
Wow, nice.
Right, and so that's what you bring
be
to the
listened
table.
to.
So
Yeah.
I think as men, sometimes we get stuck with the buzzwords. Respect,
Yeah.
discipline, hard work,
Right.
whatever. But yeah, way more than that,
Mhm.
right? Like if you have this potential where you could talk to somebody
Yeah.
and they walk away going, "I feel better about myself."
Yeah.
Just with that interaction.
That's good
That's-
stuff.
that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Money.
What about you?
So, with my dad is, I could be anywhere in the United States, right? And if I said, "Damn, I'm stuck," I'll be right there. I'm coming,
Right.
right? I'll do the same thing. If anybody needs me, right, in a pinch,
Yeah,
I'm out.
I believe that.
1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, it doesn't matter, right? You call, I'm there. And that's what my dad would do.
Right.
That's what my dad does now. And he's 70-something years old. If I need him, right, he'll figure out a way to get to me.
I love
right?
Now I know who to call when I need bail money.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yo,
I got you.
Yo, John, man.
I
I
got
was on that
you.
podcast.
I'll be right there.
was on that
I'll be
podcast.
right there. Just give me a poem.
Man, I need $9.99.
And you know what? Hey, to that point, like, that's what my grandfather was that. My grandfather was my dad, baby. Think about it. He came to all my games. He lived in Lakeville.
Yeah.
He'd come, I'd be in Eastern next to UConn, and I say, "Oh man, I ain't got no food." I'm like, "Man, I gotta get some the meal money to come in." He would drive from from Lakeville to Willimantic. That's like an hour and some change just to bring me some food.
Yeah.
That's how my grandfather was. So he passed away too, like at like 55, man. I'm thinking about it
Wow.
now. Yeah, he had prostate cancer, and he had it. You know why he had it?
Why?
He ignored it.
That's right. You know it.
Check.
Yes, he ignored it. He didn't get a
Go
check,
get
get a
your
check,
prostate
and then he went in.
It's just a
and
little blood work.
It was
It's
going.
a
He was,
PSA.
he was
Simple.
in and out that fast. He was,
It takes that. It's nothing.
yeah.
The other thing is how we talk,
Yeah.
right? So what I know is with my dad, when he answers the phone, he goes, "Hello." Right? Hello. And so now when I answer the phone, I'm like, "Hello." And so now my son, right, when he answers the phone and his words are coming out more and more,
Yeah.
I hear him, hello. Hello. I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
Let's keep that going.
It's a cheat code though, right? When you have
Yes.
when you have a good father, like it's like I up to my father's name, from his name down, I could steal everything. And he's the one. I'm not in competition with him. He wants me to succeed. He's like behind me no matter what. My father's one of those kind of fathers. So he came to every game. And my father we had 10 kids in our family. But my father was always like, when we were in high school, my father was always a father. He had the video camera there. He was known as the video camera dad at the schools. And keep in mind, I was in high school, Wally was in high school, and only me and Wally. And then I had my adopted siblings, they were in high school. And if anybody was doing something, that means he had to have a job. He worked at the village where he could leave at 4 o'clock. I'm coming to the game. And so it was like that. Those are the things that stuck in my mind, that you want to be in a position to be able to, dip if you have to. If my kids need me, if they want something, I got them. And so the cheat code that he put out there, I think that's a big deal.
90 in, just to let you know.
90.
This is the longest ever.
I got a few more questions.
Just like this is the longest one ever.
You guys still got to talk about your soul.
Just to let you know.
Don't forget about
We're 90
your
in.
soul.
Oh, man.
There you go, man.
All right, this is. I got 2 more things for us, and
All right.
in addition to the soul thing. So we've been talking about our fathers, but one day all of us are going to be here. That's just reality.
True.
And I don't want to make it grim or anything like that. Hopefully, it's a long time from now.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but what do you want people to say? What do you want your children to say about you when you're gone? If they were going to say something about you, what would they say about you? John, I'm coming to you first.
Oh, man.
Yeah, see? That's what happens when you try to take over the show asking questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm taking over now.
Analytical
Shit,
shit.
man.
Get social worker on me, I'll get social worker on you.
Oh, okay.
What are you gonna say?
Daddy loves you.
Daddy loves you?
Daddy loves you, right? And that's the one thing that I'm always communicating, right? And I may not do it in a way that is mushy or received in a way that's like, oh, come on, man, can you knock it off with all the love?
Right.
Right? But I'll say, hey,
Booker.
hey, guess what? Guess what?
Yeah. Daddy loves you.
Right. They say,
Yeah.
what? Daddy loves you. Oh, stop.
Yeah.
But I say enough. They're going to remember that for the rest of their lives.
That's right. So,
That I loved him and his mom.
mhm.
I love my community. That I would do anything for him. And that every day I worked extremely. I mean, I love what I do, but I worked extremely hard to make a better life for both of them.
I like it.
I believe they're going to say that their father was a good man. Because me and my daughter, Lanisha and so forth, will be talking, and she'll be like, oh, another person knows you, or my friend's mother knows you, my friend knows you, they just love you, the professor knows, or they just love you, and so forth. And that resonates because it comes from my grandmother being in the community. Like, for your dad, is my grandmother, and
Right.
so Martha Montgomery. And so I'm carrying on her legacy of being of that torch, and to hear it come full circle through my daughter, not from like students here, this and that, but through the community, through my daughter, and so forth. And so I believe they will say that their father was a good man.
I think my kids, what I would hope they would say is he kept getting better. I don't think I was always like, I don't know if I was the best at certain points. Like, sometimes I try to be funny, but, teenagers don't think you're funny, and so they're missing my jokes. But I think that I want them to say, like, I kept, like, adjusting. Like, instead of me just saying, this is how I am, and that's how I'm going to be. Nope, I'm going to adjust a little bit more so it fits you. Because I want desperately to be in your lives. I want to be a part of your lives. And so he changed so he could be close to me. And so he just kept trying to get better. That's what I hope they say. All right,
Nice.
we're about to get out of here. There are some fathers out there. We have this thing that we started last summer. It's called Speak Life into a Brother. But I'd like to switch it tonight where we speak life into a father. There's a father out there, maybe he's struggling. Maybe he's like not reaching the potential that he could reach. Maybe he's having some issues with the mother of his child. I don't know what it is, but there's a father out there that needs a word of encouragement. And what I would like you guys to do is take a moment and give that word of encouragement to the father. So we want to speak life into a father that's out there. Frederick, I think you're good to go first.
All right.
Straight into the camera.
I'll go first. I definitely would say community. Tap into your community. There is the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child.
That's right.
And so back to when we're talking about loneliness and like we feel like we're doing it on our own, like tap into the village. Whatever that village looks like for you. It could be immediate family, it could be community resources, it could be a mentor, friend, pastor, whatever. But tap into a member of that village. And then that member of that village will tap you into another one. And next thing you know, by doing so, you will come full circle with members in that village that are all going to give you a particular gem to help you in this this journey to fatherhood.
Nice. Alonzo Lee Beckett.
Fathers, boom. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're not alone, like he mentioned. You're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you're gonna go through are not. The things you're gonna go through are not uncommon. Okay. There's fathers all around you that you can tap in for advice. Your presence in your child's life was worth more than you could probably imagine. Material things that you think the child may need, I think the child needs you more than that. It's a job that's ever changing, ever evolving. It's not something you can be perfect at. It's something you can just, if you give your heart to it, then the love for your child will show. Just remember, the child is an extension of you. The child didn't ask to be here. And I think that it is your responsibility to take care of the child, whether what happens if you're not cool with the mother, the family, whatever. It has to be your responsibility to make sure the child is okay. And again, there are resources around here if you can seek help and get help for those things. So you're not alone in that aspect. But it is something that eventually you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna love it. You're gonna wish people enjoy it so much they have more than one child. So this is not something that that is undaunting, like you can't do it or anything like that. It's something that you can just like with anything, with practice. And then you have a partner as well. So tap into your partner as well. Maybe it's both your first time having a child and it's something you can experience together. But lastly, it's a beautiful thing and it's something that you want to be involved with, right? You want to raise great children so when you get older, they can take care of you.
That's right. John Malofsky.
Yeah, I think move towards what you value, right? Oftentimes we do things that push us away from what we value. Move towards what you value. If you value your kids, if you value the relationship with your kids, what are you doing to get closer to that value? Is what you're about to do right now going to push you further away from that value or get you closer to that value, right? And as a father, if you're listening to the podcast or if you're listening to fathers give some kind of a message, that means you care. That means you're in it to win it. Move towards what you value. Is what you're going to do right now, is that going to set you back, push you back? Is that going to fracture the relationship? So, I guess that's where I'm at, right? And, the question you asked about touching the soul, if you're there for the birth of the kid, that's it right there. What else is there? What else is there? When that life all of a sudden comes out, that should be enough. And that's your moment. And that's where you put on your cape and you get to work, right? And I'll be there in 15 minutes if you need me.
I love it. The topic of tonight's show is Fatherhood is Forever. What I want to say to you, during this difficult time for you as a father, I want to tell you that through adversity comes relief. Through adversity comes relief. The difficulty you're having right now is not going to last forever. But I'll tell you what will last forever, fatherhood. That's right. Fatherhood is going to last forever. That means that you're showing up, you're showing your care, you showing your love. All of those things are going to matter in the long run. So this difficulty is only for a short amount of time. You need to know that the love and the care, the respect that you give to your children, that's going to last for eons. They're going to speak your name long after you're gone because you're going to be such a good father. They're going to be the type of father that never gives up on his children. They're going to say he just kept coming. He kept showing up. He kept trying to do his best. He kept evolving. He kept getting better. That's what you want to be able to have your children say about you. You don't want to say he quit. You don't want to say he gave up because things got too hard. No, this is only for a short amount of time. You have within you the ability the desire, the gift of being a father. Don't waste it. Don't miss it. This is your time. Through adversity comes relief, but fatherhood is forever. So go with forever. And this has been another Manhood Tree podcast. I hope I touched your soul. I don't know if I did, but I'm trying to touch souls when I speak. We'll be back next week. Just to let you guys know, in the next month, we have a Brotherhood check-in on February 19th, 6 p.m. at Farmington Avenue, 224 Farmington Avenue. If you're a brother in our community, a man in our community, come out and let us know how you're doing. We care about you and we just want to know how you're doing. Next month, we also have our men's health strength circuit. That's on February 21st. We got 10 exercises, 3 rounds. I hear that he's going to do a lot more cardio this month, Alonzo, just so you know. You might want to start doing something.
I've been doing it already in the gym.
All right, just
only missed
sure.
one. Listen, I've been in the gym.
52 Main Street in Manchester. That's where we will be for our men's health strength circuit. Next month, we have the Fatherhood Monologues all-female show. We got an all-female cast for the first time ever.
What's the date on that?
That's February 28th. It's the last day of Black History Month and leading us right into Women's History Month. And so having an all-female cast, and we have some power-packed women on this cast. Trust me, it's 9 women, 9 different stories. You should come. We'll be at the Mark Twain House for that. And just so you guys know, I have a goal this year of hosting 100 Fatherhood Monologue workshops. The workshops are 2 hours. We want to come in and have you write stories about being a father or being father. So if you know somebody, if you have a group of people, 10 or more, I'll come in, maybe 8. I'll come in and we will do a Fatherhood Monologues workshop for free. I'm doing it for free. Why not? I got time in my hands.
100 of them?
100 of them.
For free? 100 for free?
$1.
100 for free?
All right, I'm trying to go.
A buck, son.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to see if it works out. You know. Tune in next week. Manhood Tree Podcast. We'll be here 6 o'clock live. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
And as I always say, never stop dreaming. Peace.
Peace. One love, y'all.
Thank you, John Malowski.
Yeah.
And thank you, Frederick Douglass Knowles. Thank you, Alonzo Lee Beckett. And thank you, Abdul Rahman Ibn Ahmed.